Good morning, everybody. Hey, happy hump day at the Morning Night Live. I'll turn this music down before it starts again. There we go. It's Thursday and it's Wednesday. Sorry. I don't know what the fuck day it is. It's one of those days. Anyway, I'm glad to see you here. Hope you are ready for the show. I'm not that organized today, but I have a few things I want to talk about, particularly this Fox News settlement. For at least a moment, I don't really care. I'm not a big Fox News viewer, but I think there's a possibility that's going to open up Pandora's box. Here, let me turn this up a little bit. You should be able to hear me better now. So we'll get to that and much more as soon as we do that intro thing. Johnny, play the intro. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yes, that's me. Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host. Oh, what the hell? I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where sometimes organization is overrated. Anyway, good morning. I hope you're having a good day. Hope you got all your tax stuff done. It was sent yesterday like I did. Yay. I hate tax day because I got to spend money. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the Fox News lawsuit today, which I haven't paid the greatest amount of attention to it, but it's out there, so we'll talk about that. And because I'm not a big Fox News guy, so a lot of these people are just jumping for joy that that Fox is paying out this money to Dominion, and I think all of the news networks are kind of in trouble after this, because there's all kinds of things they could just be sued for left and right, knowing what they do, knowing they lie about stuff. I mean, so it is what it is. So the propagandists are in heaven today, although they're kind of taken as a little bit of a loss too, because they don't get to have the fact that Fox settled and doesn't have to admit to anything. Well, they're just mad. They want to bankrupt people who disagree with them. And so this was their big chance. And there's two other, I think the Smartmatic, Dominion, they settled with Dominion. Smartmatic also got a suit, and I think they're suing individuals too. Whatever. They all lie. And the ones who are excited about this, get ready. And it's not the first time that a news organization has settled a lawsuit. It won't be the last, but I think this opens the door for a lot more, just based on many different things. I tell you what, somebody's going to get sued for some of the COVID stuff. Somebody's going to get sued for even I would say that there's a guy with some funny hair who probably could sue a couple networks for some of the collusion stuff, because a lot of them knew stuff. But anyway, let's say hi to everybody first, and then we'll go on. For some reason, Rumble didn't work today, so I hope those who normally watch on Rumble made it over here today. I'll have a replay on Rumble, but unfortunately we're all on YouTube today, and I didn't even send out a notification on YouTube. So if you guys would do that, I'll just retweet one of y'all. In fact, let me do that right now. Thank you. Who did this already? Oh my gosh. Mike Savage, or no, Jimmy Dias? No, who did this? Somebody did. Did I do it? Oh shit, I did. Silly me. Well, then I guess I did tweet it out. I just didn't put it on locals. Okay, I got it. I'm confused just because I'm only on one channel. I don't have to watch two chats. Don't have to click back and forth to make everything's working. It's all good. So let's go ahead and say hi to everybody. We'll get going. First in the chat on YouTube, because that's all we're on today, is Avocados Diabli, who gets the bell. Thank you, sir. Why was that so soft? Let me just, is that? Try. That's weird. I thought that it seemed that it'd be louder. Anyway, thank you for being here. Also, good morning, Don Julio, guys, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man. What's up? Jimmy Das Hotep's in the house. Oh wait, I forgot. Well, thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. Avocados Diabli. I forgot I have to have that little ominous thing for Avocados Diabli. Also, good morning, Simon Wolfwood, Tyler F., Mike Savage, Blarg, Lord Stanhope's in the house, and I just, I saw someone doing lyrics, or writing lyrics to Kyrie Eleison in the chat, and now I know why. Lord Stanhope, what is that all about? Kyrie Eleison down the road that I must travel. Also, good morning to Dom O'Leary. Are you leaving? It says have a great stream, but does that mean you left? Or I think you might still be here. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Good morning. And Septus Wolf. And that's it. We're a little bit light today. And is it because I'm late or what? I don't know. People will roll in. So just do me a favor. Share the stream. Let's see if we can get a few more people in here. But not that I'm not happy with who's here, because you all are awesome. So let's... All right, I can turn my monitor up here so I can hear myself a little better. There we go. So, a few things trending before we get into the main story. Tesla was trending this morning because apparently they are lowering their prices on a couple models of vehicles before their quarterly results come out. Now, also their stock is down a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of people who hate Tesla just because Elon Musk, right? Oh, good morning, Surly, Gulf City, DC 182, aka Blink, and Anna Lynn are all in the house. Good morning. So Tesla is, let's see, looks like the word is getting out about how bad Tesla is becoming with the removal of basic features. Now, this is interesting because they're offering a lower priced vehicle by taking out some features that maybe they deemed unnecessary. I don't know. Okay, Vision Parkus is surprisingly bad, exceptionally inaccurate. Well, I don't know. I don't own a Tesla. But anyway, Tesla shares drop as Musk cuts prices again ahead of earnings tonight. 6th price cut this year. Model Y SUV now cheaper by $3,000. Base Model 3 discounted by 4% to less than $40,000 for the first time in years. Profit margins will be a concern tonight. Well, they still are the leader in electric vehicles. So I don't know. There's a lot of competition out there, so I wouldn't expect them to be on top forever. But anyway, but anyway, the big news. So the big news here: Tesla cuts U.S. prices for 6th time this year ahead of Q1 results. And the Reuters has a short article here. There's a couple others, but that's it. So that's why Tesla is trending. Let's see other things trending. Whoops, what did I do there? That's me. Other things trending. The Oklahoma City bombing is trending. Now, most of you probably know what that is because that happened April 19th, I believe. What year was that? Is this the... I don't know what year it was. But... a lot of people are remembering that today. Today, the Oklahomans joined again. Well, whatever. Today, remember Special Agent Donald R. Leonard, who lost his life in the Oklahoma City by April 19th, 1995. Now, a lot of people are using this. Good morning, Rotten Corpse and Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost. What's up? A lot of people are using this. And Rachel Maddow's dildo. Did I say Rachel Maddow's dildo and Rotten Corpse? Good morning to you guys, too. And Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
All right. So a lot of people are using this as a way to demonize people they don't like. Okay. So here's, and this is a good example. Someone named Dennis Baker says, the Oklahoma City bombing took 168 lives. Oklahomans know all too well how anti-government white supremacists radicalizes unstable individuals to commit acts of violence. Now, look, McVeigh and his crew were some jackals, okay? Fuck them, okay? I don't care about Timmy McVeigh and his accomplices. But here's how they finish this up. Fox News and MAGA Republicans stop legitimizing far-right extremism. Words have consequences. Now that's fascinating because I seem to remember there's been plenty of violence committed for whatever causes people have. And in fact, sometimes there's violence for no friggin' reason at all. Like the happenings in Los Angeles and Chicago over the weekend where people just decide to start, breaking shit, looting, and beating people up for no reason. And I'm just curious, what kind of rhetoric or extremism causes that? Or, look, I understand the trepidation after the George Floyd incident, whatever, but was that worth, $6 billion and hundreds of people dead and businesses destroyed? What extremism caused that? And honestly, more violence comes from the left, by far. Now, whether it's reported as violence or political violence or whatever, Riley Gaines speaks in a university and they attack her. people attack people at political rallies. I don't even think it's even close. The entire 6 months of violence in Portland after George Floyd. 6 months in a federal building. The autonomous zones in Minneapolis and Seattle. I get it. You want Merrick Garland and to continue his bullshit rhetoric that, oh, yes, the worst and most dangerous thing is far-right extremism. I bet you if you went through that list of those so-called mass shootings that you like to talk about, and the pew-pews that are longer than the hand ones, I bet you find a lot more leftists or Democrats or people who support Joe Biden than you would even close. It's not even close. Now, sure, McVeigh was an asshole and did his thing in Oklahoma City because his anti-government sentiments, but come on, get serious. Get serious. Oklahoma City was a response by a wacko to what the government had done previously. The rhetoric did not do that. Wasn't that partially having to do with Ruby Ridge, which is government action, whatever. Good morning, Jay Pylon from Hotep Nation. And also, and my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony, and Anna Lynn. Good morning, guys. And Shrapnel's in the house. Good to see you. Okay, so it's funny. As I scroll down here, in April 1995, the Oklahoma City bombing occurs. The Alfred P. Newman, Alfred P. Murrah federal building in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma is bombed, killing 160 people, including 19 children under the age of 6. It was carried out by domestic terrorists Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. Okay, yeah. Now, some people are saying, oh, see, this is the reason Merrick Garland needs to be vigilant and this and that, yada, yada. It's interesting. Now, the Oklahoma City police tweet about it. Now, they're going to be straight and narrow. Now, here is... now, Jeffrey Toobin, you know who Jeffrey Toobin is, right? I think he's the dude. Did he write this article? Oh, my God. Mr. Zoom call himself, Jeffrey Toobin, has written an opinion piece for the New York Times. I think we should read this. I'm just curious. Let me get a version I can read here, though, because you know how the New York Times is. I'm sure somebody's archived this. Yes, this is archived. So Jeffrey Toobin, Mr. Zoom call himself, and certified wanker, literally, has written an opinion piece in the New York Times about the Oklahoma City bombing today. Let's read this. And the O.J. Simpson case. Okay, how the Oklahoma City bombing case and the O.J. Simpson case shaped Merrick Garland. Well, let's see. Let's find out from Jeffrey Toobin, certified wanker, how this happened. The dancing Itos were a lesser pop culture legacy of the O.J. Simpson case. Jay Leno's Tonight Show featured a ragged chorus line of black-robed hoofers meant to resemble Judge Lance Ito, who was presiding over the trial, as well as a look-alike for Marcia Clark, the lead prosecutor. It was a sort of funny send-up of the way those connected to the double murder trial had suddenly become famous. The skit lasted less than a couple of minutes, and it's been largely forgotten, except by the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland. When interviewed, Mr. Garland last year about the Oklahoma City bombing, it was the first thing he mentioned. The bombing took place on April 19th, 1995, at a time when the former football star's criminal trial, which had begun in that January, was a national obsession. This undignified spectacle served as a photo negative of how Mr. Garland wanted the bombing case to unfold, and decades later, he was still repelled. The dancing Itos, he told me, were exactly what he wanted to avoid. Now, look, let me just stop right there for Mr. Merrick Garland. The O.J. Simpson case was a joke, and it was a spectacle, and there was just so many things about it that were funny, that could be made fun of, even despite the fact that two people were ended in such a horrific way by a man who got away with it. Just saying. The Oklahoma City bombing had no chance of being anything like that. And I don't think there was anyone who was ready to joke about that trial. First of all, there were no somewhat comical famous people involved. And it just wasn't the same. So I'm not sure where he was going here, but let's see. Let's find out. At the time of the bombing, Merrick Garland was 42 years old, and his official title was Principal Associate Deputy Attorney General, pronounced P-Dag. Oh, wow. P-Dag. That's good. No. That's P-Dog. That's me. Anyway, in Justice Department lingo, I guess, which hardly did justice to his importance in the department. After 2 days of the bombing, Janet Reno, the Attorney General, grew concerned that turf battles were hampering the investigation, so she told Jamie Gorelick, wow, these are some names I haven't heard in a while, people who are just shitty people, the Deputy Attorney General, to get someone on the ground in Oklahoma City to take charge. Ms. Gorelick sent Mr. Garland, whose experience on the case would shape the rest of his career, including his most important current duty, directing the investigation of Donald Trump. Really? Is that really his most important duty right now? Dave Smith, nice to have you back. You said you were unsubscribing, and I'm glad you didn't, because I was just calling balls and strikes on that one case. Anyway, let's see. The deep state would love to get rid of Fox News. They tell the truth. Yeah, it's so funny that we'll get into that in a minute. I promise you get into that, because I think that whole Dominion case is BS, and the fact that and Fox settled. I'll get into it later. I've got words about that case. Believe me, I'll get to it. Mr. Garland appears to see the courtroom and the law as an almost sacred refuge of the tumult of modern life. No, he's a political hack now. Come on, stop lying, Tubi the serial wanker. The law, he believes, must be protected from not just the vulgarities of show business, but also the passions of politics.
Why the fuck you lying?
This is why he has proceeded with such caution in the Trump investigation, and especially why he has said so little about it in public. No, they just leak stuff. It's funny. There's been much to be commended in this kind of reticence, because it projects fairness and even handedness. Oh, good God. But there is a cost, too, in Mr. Garland's approach. As Attorney General, Mr. Garland is responsible not just for bringing cases, but also for warning the public of ongoing threats. Oops. Including from political actors like Mr. Trump and his allies. The question is whether Mr. Garland's silence protects the law, but also misses the chance to defend democracy. God, Tubin, you're a piece of shit. On his first day in Oklahoma City, Mr. Garland represented the government at Timothy McVeigh's arraignment. By the way, I'll give Merrick Garland credit for his handling of the McVeigh case. I'm just saying. They even got the death penalty for him, and I don't think that's Merrick Garland's thing. Anyway, I sat across the table from the killers, Mr. Garland told me, recalling his years as an assistant U.S. attorney, but I have never seen such a stone-cold face. Later that night, Mr. Garland visited the bombing site, the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, which was still illuminated by massive lights to aid in the search for survivors. When he arrived, there were tiny broken toys and ripped little backpacks visible in the debris. The final death toll would be 168, including 15 of the 21 children in the daycare center on the second floor. Mr. Garland, I don't know if they need to. He's making this as dramatic as possible. It's sad for me to hear that line, the broken toys and the ripped backpack. I mean, that shit was terrible, man. I remember that. I remember I was living in the Twin Cities then, but That was just brutal. Mr. Garland and his wife had 2 daughters who were close to the age of the kids who perished. Mr. Garland took control of the legal side of the case. The next morning, the Simpson case was fresh in his mind, and that unfolding drama the defense had pointed to a series of blunders by the Los Angeles police and prosecutors. The issue of law enforcement incompetence and misconduct was much in the air, and Mr. Garland knew that the public and the prospective jurors would be watching the bombing case through that filter. He didn't want agents to take any chances that the judge might later find their searches unlawful and suppress the evidence they discovered. So he set up shop processing search warrants for nearly every step the agents took in the investigation. It was tedious and perhaps unnecessary, but Mr. Garland made sure that the proprieties were observed. The pattern was set for the rest of the investigation and the rest of Mr. Garland's career. By the way, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. First to sponsor the show, that means you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Yes, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, who says, Timothy McVeigh was radicalized by the Fed's actions at Ruby Ridge and Waco, Texas.
That's right.
They allow for dozens of innocent children to die just to prove a point. The feds can violate the rights of citizens as long as they were conservative.
That's right.
Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. Appreciate it. Good morning, also Special K on Acid and Nomad.
Stop. Hammer time.
All right. So let's see. You have, okay, in light of the seriousness of the charges, there was no chance McVeigh was going to be released. But Mr. Garland went out of his way to speak about the case in an almost willfully boring way. You've heard the evidence, Your Honor, he said in court, more than sufficient to establish that in relation to a crime of violence, the defendant used and carried a destructive device, that is a bomb. On the issue of bail, he said, Your Honor, as everyone knows, he faces the possibility of the death penalty in this case and enormous incentive to flee. The government represents no condition would prevent a person in that situation from fleeing. Mr. Garland became so invested in the bombing case that he waited, asking Ms. Gorlick for a chance to remain as lead courtroom prosecutor. But his boss had other plans because the Unabomber investigation was floundering. Starting in 1978, a series of bombs had been mailed to various university and airline targets around the country. Okay. Interesting they would mention the Unabomber in the same vein, because all these people talking about, McVeigh and being right-wing extremism, right? Well, I think the Unabomber was some left-wing extremism, wasn't it? I mean, sure, it was anti-government, but it was left-wing anti-government extremism, wasn't it? And I wonder if they'll mention that here. From 1987 to 93, the bombings ceased, but then they started again, including one that killed a Sacramento man on April 24th, 1995, 5 days after the Oklahoma City bombing. The Justice Department was embarrassed by its failure to catch the mysterious perpetrator, and Ms. Gorlick told Mr. Garland to take over, which he did. Ted Kaczynski was arrested for the bombings in his tiny cabin in Montana on April 3rd, 1996. For the trials of McVeigh and Terry Nichols in the Oklahoma City bombing, Mr. Garland helped select a prosecution team led by Joseph Hartzler and Larry Mackey, who never became as famous as the O.J. Simpson prosecutors because it wasn't a celebrity trial. A televised celebrity trial obviously is going to make people more famous than an untelevised federal trial. Just saying. Mr. Nichols serving life without parole. Mr. Garland received a splendid consolation prize for losing out on the trials. In September 1995, President Bill Clinton nominated him to a seat on the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, the second most important court in the country, though he was not confirmed until March 1997. Mr. Garland's tenure as a judge reinforced the tendency he established in the bombing investigation, meticulous about assembling facts and reluctant about expressing views. And over time, he became a left-wing hack. So it has gone in Mr. Garland's turn as Attorney General, especially when it comes to the Trump investigation. Boy, he's really fixated on the Trump investigation. Since taking office, Mr. Garland has been criticized for the slow pace of the investigation and for his failure to prosecute those who inspired or incited the Capitol attack. What are you talking about? Who inspired the Capitol attack? Who incited the Capitol attack? There's a guy named Epps that you're not even arrested. Oh my God. And who are oh my God. They got people out here. Oh, by the way, I would include the FBI in that list of people that they're not prosecuting. You know what I mean? Anyway, the criticism seems unfair, or at least premature. Mr. Garland has hardly backed away from the post-January 6th investigation. He sanctioned the prosecution of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers on the rarely deployed charge of seditious conspiracy, which is a joke. Approved the search of Mar-a-Lago. The raid with guns blazing for documents that were being in a personal skiff being protected by Secret Service agents. Mr. Trump's home in Florida and appointed Jack Smith, an aggressive prosecutor, to lead the investigation. The fair verdict of Mr. Garland should await the outcome of Mr. Smith's work. Yes, Mr. Smith is now in Washington. Yet it is fair to question why Mr. Garland continues to be quiet, if not silent, public voice about the Trump investigation. Maybe they don't have anything they can really charge it with. Could it be? Or that they're just trying to be coy? I don't know. We follow the facts and the law wherever they lead. You mean you're finding you've got your man, and now you got to find a charge. How about that? He said at the Justice Department podium, the best way to undermine an investigation is to say things out of court. This is actually a debatable point. Oh, is it, Jeffrey? Oh, wait, you know a lot about points, especially when you're in Zoom calls. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, government officials, especially high-level policymakers like the Attorney General, are allowed to speak publicly about the meaning and importance of their work, including the continuing threat of homegrown violence. Yeah, he can't shut up about that. He and they talk about, oh, there's a threat of right-wing violence when there's left-wing violence every weekend. Just saying, there is every weekend. In my interview with Mr. Garland, Mr. Garland not only refused to draw any comparisons between Mr. McVeigh and Capitol rioters, but also even refused to utter the words January 6th. Wait, what? Refused to draw any comparisons between Mr. McVeigh and Capitol rioters. You know, maybe a better comparison would be the comparison between Mr. McVeigh and the people who bombed the Senate building in 1985, I think. Was it 85, something like that? That would be a more apropos comparison, wouldn't it? People who bombed things versus people who were just protesting, and a riot broke out probably because the police were throwing flashbangs and gas at them and pepper spray. Because those are the people who started fighting with the police, were the people who were in the direct path of flashbangs. But yeah, they don't really show that video. I remember watching that. In fact, there are some videos out there that show that basically they were just standing around and yelling and making noise, and then all of a sudden they're like, for no reason, flashbangs and tear gas and pepper spray. Oh, and that famous picture that lit up that they photoshopped. Anyway, in the aftermath of the Oklahoma City bombing, President Clinton made a different choice and spoke clearly as well as presciently about the abiding danger. In a speech 5 days after the bombing, he said, "We hear so many." Oh, wait, Bill Clinton. I can't remember how to do Bill. "We hear so many loud and angry voices in America today whose sole goal seems to be to try to keep people as paranoid as possible." I can't do Bill Clinton. Fuck it. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard, by the way. whose goal seems to be to try to keep some people as paranoid as possible, and the rest of us all torn up and upset with each other. Wow, he's describing CNN to a T. Wow, they spread hate. They leave the impression that by their very words, the violence is acceptable. Wow, that's MSNBC and CNN in 2020. That's exactly it. They leave the impression that by their very words, that violence is acceptable. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is CNN. Oh, wait. That's not what he meant, is it? Anyway. Mr. Garland, in contrast, has largely left the stage to Mr. Trump himself. The former president has suggested that if reelected, he might pardon the hundreds of rioters that Mr. Garland's department has prosecuted. I think that might be apropos. The nonviolent people, why wouldn't you? They're putting away grandmas who were just there. Some didn't even enter the Capitol building, and they put them in jail. I think they could earn a pardon. And, whatever charges off their record. Now, the ones who maybe fought with police, maybe not. Maybe they should, serve out whatever assault charges or whatever. Holy shit. Anyway. He might pardon hundreds of rioters. Mr. Garland's department's prosecuted. Mr. Trump opened a recent rally with a song recorded by a group of men who were convicted for their roles on January 6th as a celebratory video tribute to the insurrection played in the background. Oh, excuse me. Insurrection played in the background. And Mr. Trump selected for his location, Waco, Texas. The site of the... Now, let's see how he writes about... This is interesting. And Mr. Trump selected for its location, Waco, Texas, the site of the government raid on April 19th, 1993, that Mr. McVeigh chose to protest with the bombing 2 years later. Mr. Trump's behavior must have looked like a provocation, if not a taunt, to Mr. Garland himself, who knows the significance of Waco better than almost anyone. Now, why? Look, Trump has rallies all over the country, okay? But the idea that listen, okay, listen to these words again. Waco, Texas, the site of the government raid on April 19th, 1993. That McVeigh chose to protest with the bombing 2 years later. Boy, the site of the raid. That's a pretty limited description there. Now, fuck McVeigh for killing people somewhere else or anywhere. But excuse me, the raid where innocent men, women, and children were burned to death. The site of the government raid. There was nothing. There was no big deal. It may seem that Mr. Garland is simply taking the high road and letting his department do all its talking in the courtroom. That's clearly the message he drew from his experience a quarter century ago. But there's another lesson to be drawn from the Oklahoma City bombing about malignant persistence of right-wing extremism in the United States. Seriously, go fuck yourself, Tubin. The convictions of Mr. McVeigh and Mr. Nichols did nothing to stop their heirs. Public attention and vigilance are just as important. Mr. Garland, of all people, knows what happens when the threat is neglected or ignored. Really? Because the most recent violence, now except for the people shot in front of people's houses, wow, that trans lady, whatever, girl, thing that shot up the school, gee, was that right-wing violence that they should have had vigilance for? I mean, oh my God. I know it's not Thursday, but FTG Jeffrey Tubin, serial wanker. Real quick, thank you, Cryptic, for sponsoring the show. And Cryptic, with that big bullet you just threw in the tip jar, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Let me just, I got to get ready. I'm not sure what this is, but we'll see. Cryptic says, a study shows that while more women attempt suicide than men are more likely to succeed because they use more lethal of methods. Which just goes to show you, if you want something done right, have a man do it. Oh. Oh, Cryptic, welcome back. I haven't seen you for a while, brother. Yeah. Jesus. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Anyway. Let's see. Obviously did an evil deed. It's part of the official. This is part of the article that brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. He was a left-winger just like the Unabomber. Who was? McVeigh? I don't know. It is always right-wing violence, even when it is left-wing. Because, would they have sunk to the level of the right if the right hadn't done it first? Also, want to buy a bridge. Yes, I do want to buy a bridge. Anyway, this is the time that I'm going to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that like Cryptic and Black Hebrew Israelite, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We got 20 whatever, some people in here and 10 likes. So hit the like button. We're lagging on that. Also, please share this stream. You can do it right now. During the show. Someone will come back and watch it eventually. They might watch the replay. They might watch something else. But, yeah, so hit the share button and do that on your favorite social media. And you can sponsor the show at like Cryptic and like Black Hebrew Israelite at pdognight.live. That is the Streamlabs link that keeps popping up in the chat, I think. Is it popping up in the chat? Yes, it is. It is popping up in the chat here and there. You can sponsor the show there, or you can use YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, whatever, although Rumble is clearly not running today. And then there's also like Venmo and Cash App in the description below. So keep the lights on, keep the cable bill paid, and sponsor the show every once in a while if you're able. If you're not, that's cool too. I'm just like button and share button do wonders for me also. All right, let's move on. I took a little longer than I should have. Fang Fang is trending. Fang Fang. Now, if you're not familiar with Fang Fang, Fang Fang is the Chinese spy that Eric Swalwell banged. So for whatever reason, she's trending, which usually Fang Fang trends whenever Eric Swalwell starts tweeting again. So I'm not even sure what Eric Swalwell was tweeting, but a lot of people are reminding Eric Swalwell that he was banging a Chinese spy. Is he even married? Was it behind his wife back? I don't know. So there's memes out here. Eric Smallwell. That's cute. My name is Eric Swalwell, and you don't know me, but let me open my mouth and prove I'm actually dumber than Adam Schiff. That's fantastic. Eric Swalwell. Oh, and you didn't need to cheat on your wife with Fang Fang. Okay, so anyway, let's see a couple things that people are replying to that Eric Swalwell cheated. So we got to click the link here. Eric Swalwell up here said, amending my taxes to claim the free rent inside the empty head of Tucker Carlson and Kevin McCarthy. Well, Eric Swalwell, you are kind of a piece of shit. I have no idea what he's talking about there. Let's see. Let's click another one. This is a reply to Eric Swalwell. What did he tweet here? I don't think much about Tucker Carlson, but I guess he spends a lot of time thinking about me. So it's pretty goddamn sweet that the day Tucker Carlson's employers confessed that Tucker is a 24-karat liar, Tucker goes to spend his first post-confession show lying about me. Now, I don't know. I'm curious. I am truly curious. Apparently Tucker Carlson did a feature on Eric Swalwell, who's might be the dumbest person in Congress, I would guess. But anyway, so lots of people are reminding him about, is this it? Sit down, genius. Go check your Fang Fang DMs. What is this? This is something on MSNBC Live. Apparently, well, did Tucker talk about Eric Swalwell? I don't even know. Anyway. All right, I'm going to move on real quick. Thank you again, Cryptics. Another big bullet in the tip jar. Let's see what this one says. Cryptic says, a racist pigeon, yes, pigeon like the bird, and a racist chicken decided to raise a family. And that's how the Ku Klux Klan got started. Get it? Spelled Ku, C-O-O, Klux, C-L-U-C-K-S, Klan, C-L-A-N. Wow. Wow. Oh, Hank Johnson still holds the title of the dumbest person in Congress. Oh, absolutely. I forgot about Hank Johnson. Yes, he is absolutely the dumbest person in Congress. And just worried about the islands tipping and shit. Anyway, all right, let's see what else. Whoopi Goldberg is sort of trending on Twitter too. Not that I really care, but she I think it was because of something she said on The View, because The View is also trending. But here's the article in the New York Post from this morning. Or from yesterday. The View co-host Whoopi Goldberg slams Bud Light Clydesdale ad amid the Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. So Anheuser-Busch has been silent for a little while since the whole Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney kerfluffle started popping up. And so recently, I think yesterday or the day before, they put out one of those old Clydesdale commercials for Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, whatever, right? It was a pretty cool ad, and, America and flags and all this stuff, because, they're realizing that they fucked up for their customer base, and that they need to fire that person, that marketing director over at Bud Light, but they haven't done so, but I'm sure it'll happen. And as soon as it does, everyone's going to know just because. So anyway, apparently the ladies at The View were not happy about the new Anheuser-Busch ad. I'm stunned because, first of all, I'm actually going to show you a View clip. That's amazing. And two, well, there's a reason that they're upset. They feel like Bud Light chickened out. Okay, here's the ladies at The View. They're dumber than snot. And here we go.
Unleash the Clydesdale horses.
That's right.
Now
That's
all
right.
of a sudden they got this trans, this.
No, the horse is not trans.
No. I'm saying all of a sudden they get this. What am I thinking?
The Clydesdale horses galloping.
I'm thinking they're getting this backlash.
Yes, they did get backlash. Their customer base is.
Get the horses out. I was like, because the horses are so much more American than
it's
trans
so
people.
funny. So anyway, they slammed Anheuser-Busch for backtracking on its Bud Light advertising campaign featuring trans influencer. Influencer, really? Trans grifter extraordinaire. Look, I think Dylan Mulvaney might have achieved the greatest grift in history. 10 million followers on his stupid social media, and he's getting endorsement deals from dozens of companies. He did a runway what was it, at Fashion Week? He did a runway show at Fashion Week. He's going on all the shows. This guy's a jackal. And all because he's doing woman face. Whoopi Goldberg went on to say beer doesn't have a belief system, though some online pushed back against the host's comments. It's not the beer, it's the agenda. Ding. You guys just don't get it. The issue runs deeper than this commercial. Ding. Abso-friggin-lutely. So anyway, and just it's insane. Look, if your customer base is more likely than flyover country, right? Then stick with flyover country shit. Horses, country music, and America. Okay, you don't definitely not Dylan Mulvaney. It's just it's kind of crazy. So anyway, let's see. Don't let them scare you. Let us scare you. Goldberg said at the end of the segment, whatever. Bud Light sister brand Budweiser released an ad over the weekend featuring the famous Anheuser-Busch Clydesdale horses. In the ad, animals are seen traversing the country from New York City to the Grand Canyon. This is a story bigger than beer, the ad's narrative says in the ad. This is the story of the American spirit. At one point, the ad showcases two people raising an American flag. One of them was an Asian American. Wow. It wasn't even a white person. It was an Asian American raising an American flag. As one places her hand over her heart, the Asian American placed her hand over her heart while the white man was raising the American flag. The ad followed the half-hearted apology Friday by Anheuser-Busch's CEO Brendan Whitworth after the company faced backlash for its sponsorship deal with Mulvaney, a social media influencer with 10 million followers on TikTok. And forever, God dang free promotion by everyone complaining about Dylan Mulvaney. God, I get tired of seeing that fucker on Twitter. Just let him go. Let him go. But now here I am talking about him. Anyway, Goldberg seemed perplexed by the anger over Mulvaney's tie-up, saying the company puts out the statement that saying they didn't mean to address an issue that divided people, but I want to know, what are you so angry about? Beer does not have, it's not Democrat or Republican. It doesn't have a belief system, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, you saw what they said. You can read the rest yourself. It's stupid. And FTG to them. And finally, in pink news, apparently Twitter has rolled back its policy on, now this is pink news, so it has an agenda. It's left and super pro-trans or whatever, which is unusual because not all the people who are gay are pro-trans. But anyway, Elon Musk Twitter rolls back policy protecting trans users from misgendering and dead naming. Now, this is something I saw a couple different outlets, report on. But what's weird is I've noticed that several weeks ago. I don't know why they're suddenly reporting on this. I think one outlet reported on it, so now the others are copying. And I think it could have been Reuters, I think, that first reported this. So anyway, so Twitter has quietly dropped a long-standing policy protecting transgender people from targeted dead naming and misgendering. So in other words, Elon Musk is allowing for free speech and perhaps the idea that some people might get their feelings hurt for whatever reason. This social media site, owned by CEO Elon Musk, has changed its hateful content policy to remove a sentence about targeted misgendering or dead naming of individuals that specifically protects the trans community. Twitter policy, which prohibits targeted harassment, including repeated slurs, tropes, or content intended to dehumanize protected categories, has been in effect since 2018, prior to Musk's acquisition. Yes, they will not allow you to speak your mind since 2018, and Musk is changing that. Prior to this move, the platform's hateful content policy read, quote, "We prohibit targeting others with repeated slurs, tropes, or other content that intends to dehumanize, degrade, or reinforce negative or harmful stereotypes about a protected category. This includes targeted misgendering or dead naming of transgender individuals." The removal of the final section, which referring to dead naming or misgendering, was described by LGBTQ plus nonprofit GLAAD as, quote, "the latest example of just how unsafe the company is for users and advertisers alike." Unsafe? Unsafe? How is it unsafe? Oh, that's right. Words are violence. That's why. The move means Twitter is falling behind other social media companies, including TikTok and Pinterest, which have both explicitly banned misgendering, dead naming, misogyny, and the promotion of conversion therapy practices. Now, this is hilarious. This is hilarious because there are people in the trans activist community who say that if you try to take, for example, if you follow the World Professional Association of Transgender Health's guidelines, which suggest strongly that you have a long period of counseling and, a psychoanalysis, psychiatry, right? Before you start doing any forms of, particularly medical transitioning of anybody, but particularly children, there are people who say that is a form of conversion therapy, because someone who claims they're trans, if you don't immediately affirm their claims, then you are participating in a form of conversion therapy, which is ironic because it would seem to me that the conversion therapy would be the immediate medicalization of anyone who says they might have a question about their gender. That would be the conversion therapy. You're converting them, but they're saying, oh, no. See, because when they say that, they're always correct and they always know exactly what's going on. And so by you not immediately affirming and immediately taking them through the medicalization process, you are performing conversion therapy on them. It's crazy shit. Anyway. Similarly, Facebook owner Meta has publicly stated that it prohibits violent or dehumanizing contents directed against people who identify as LGBTQ and removes claims about someone's gender identity upon their request. Okay, it also ignores the overwhelming evidence that target harassment has an adverse effect on the well-being of LGBTQ plus people. Now, notice how they put everyone in there. They need to make this category as broad as they can. Targeted harassment, like that's actually targeted harassment, doesn't that have an adverse effect on anybody? I mean, well-being, define your well-being too. And they cite some pink article? Yeah, they do. Dead name meaning, what is dead name? Okay, that's just a bit. Anyway, targeted misgendering and dead name were identified by the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, as a form of hate speech in a March report. Look, all these organizations that do that kind of stuff that the ADL does, they're all taken over by activists. The activists get in with them and have, it's like shrapnel. Bruce Jenner, Ellen Page. I wonder if I can get in trouble for that on YouTube. I don't even know. Because I've kind of seen, I don't know if YouTube is kind of lightened up on the policy because they realize that not everyone has the same beliefs. And anyway. Oh, goodness gracious. And Twitter has seen a major rise in anti-trans rhetoric following Musk's acquisition. Really? Interesting. You mean people are not just going along with some of the bullshit? Is that what you mean by anti-trans rhetoric? Like, all right, after the world's second wealthiest man reluctantly bought the platform in October 2022, transphobic remarks were found to have risen by at least 1,458 times per day. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. They have that they're that specific. Have found to have risen by that number every day per day across the remainder of last year. Additionally, racist anti-black comments increased to a height of 38. Okay, they're using these numbers that were reported. Some group made up some report on this. But then when they went in and looked, that it was kind of like, not really. Okay. Anyway, so, and in a survey in February 2023 also found that 60% of LGBTQ plus organizations and activists, okay, so have reported increase in abusive speech since Musk's takeover. You mean people who argue with you, pretty much. Holy shit, I don't, anyway. So apparently that line was taken out of the policy. People are free to speak their mind. Musk addressed this in an interview. I'll have some clips on my channel, like my short clips that I'm starting to put on, that kind of address this in a tangential way. All right. Let's get to the main topic of the day, or one of the main topics, and that would be the Fox News, settlement. What the hell happened there? There we go. I'm having a little problem. What the hell's going on with my computer? Okay, my computer's a pain in the ass. Let's click there. I apologize. I'm having. There we go. Is it my mouse? Is the battery of my mouse dying? I can't tell. It might be. All right. So big news in the world of Fox News, and that's trending big time on Twitter because all the leftists are rejoicing. Fox News has settled with Dominion. Okay. On the same day, the Fox News settlement with Dominion, ironic crack and win. So, okay, they have a $2.7 billion lawsuit from Smartmatic also. So, the leftists have rejoiced that Fox News is settling with, sort of rejoicing. Doggy Punch, what's up? I'm sorry, that's a sound clip, isn't it? That's a clip. So let's see. Let's find. Are there any straight news people? Any straight news people talking about this? I want to read an article. I had the CNN article, but I clearly did not. I mistakenly closed it. Well, here's a Breitbart article. So Fox News settles defamation case for $787.5 million, million with an M, avoiding a trial. Now, here's one of the problems about the trial, this Fox News trial. The irony of the Fox News trial is it was being held where? In Delaware, Joe Biden's home state. Perfect. So the idea that they were going to get a fair trial in Delaware is crazy. Anyway, Fox News reached a $787.5 million settlement on Tuesday in a defamation case brought by voting technology company Dominion that alleged the network knowingly aired false claims linking its machines to a conspiracy to undermine the 2020 election. The agreement to end the case avoided what most experts suggest would have been a damaging high-profile trial for the conservative channel in which owner Rupert Murdoch would have been compelled to testify in open court. Judge Eric Davis announced the last-minute agreement after the 12 jurors had been selected and the Delaware Superior Court was readying to hear opening statements. Fox News said in a statement it was pleased to have ended the dispute and added, "We acknowledge the court's rulings finding certain claims about Dominion to be false." Dominion CEO John Polis told reporters outside the court that Fox had admitted to telling lies about Dominion that caused enormous damage to my company. Really, I'm trying to figure out what the actual damage to his company was, because no one stopped using their damn machines. But anyway, at least that I know of, I don't know. Caused enormous damage to my company, our employees, and our customers. Nothing can ever make up for that. Well, you're going to get a lot more money than you ever would have gotten from them, ever. The proceedings trailed by the New York Times as, quote, the defamation trial of the century, end quote, had been due to test the limits of free speech rights for media in America when they willfully broadcast misinformation. Oh my gosh. I think we have a huge case against Rachel Maddow. Analysts predicted it could be one of the most consequential libel hearings in U.S. history. The settlement, believed to be one of the largest in a defamation case ever, means star anchors such as Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity will also avoid appearing on the witness stand. U.S. media reported that the agreement does not require Fox hosts to apologize on air or admit spreading falsehoods. Dominion sued Fox News for $1.6 billion in March 2021, alleging it promoted Donald Trump's baseless claim that the machines were used to rig the presidential election he lost to Joe Biden. Dominion argued that Fox aired the lies despite knowing they were untrue. It said the network began endorsing Trump's conspiracy because the channel was losing audience to its smaller rivals after it became the first television outlet to call the southwestern state of Arizona for Biden. Now, did they really have to tell you that Arizona was a southwestern state? Come on, Breitbart, what are you doing? Effectively projecting the Democrat would win the presidency. Fox News denied defamation. It claimed it was only reporting on Trump's allegations, not supporting them, and was protected by free speech rights enshrined in the First Amendment of the Constitution. The protection makes it difficult for plaintiffs to win defamation suits in the United States. In pretrial hearings, Davis ruled that there was no question Fox aired false statements about Dominion. For Dominion to have won, however, it would have been required to prove that Fox News acted with actual malice, knowing the information was wrong, or having a reckless disregard for the truth. A tough burden has been the bedrock of U.S. media law since 1964. Dominion released a trove of internal Fox communications in which some commenters and executives balked at Trump's claims and even expressed a dislike of the ex-president despite praising him on air. Evidence, it said, of malice. The filing showed that Murdoch described comments by former Trump advisor Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell pushing Trump's claim that the election was stolen from him as really crazy stuff and damaging. Murdoch also admitted in the deposition of the case that some on-air host had endorsed the lie, but he denied that the network in its entirety had pushed it, according to court documents filed by Dominion. Carlson told staff that he couldn't wait until he could ignore Trump's most nights, adding, "I hate him passionately." Fox News accused Dominion of cherry-picking and taking quotes out of context. John Culhane, a professor at Delaware Law School at Widener University, said high-profile Fox names defending themselves in court would have been much worse for the network than the settlement. The audio would have been replayed 1,000 times over, he told AFP. Fox News has overcome several crises in recent years and was the most watched cable news channel for a seventh year in a row last year, well ahead of competitors MSNBC and CNN. It employs some traditional news reporters, but the majority of airtime is given to conservative commentators, including in primetime shows. And then the network has been completely exposed as a partisan propaganda outlet that is willing to do anything for profit and power, said Media Matters advocacy group president Angelo Carusone, reacting to the settlement. So it's, I don't know, man. Yeah, most every corporation is in Delaware now, so the trials are there. Yeah, I know. And that's why they weren't going to get I don't think they would have gotten a fair trial in Delaware. I don't know. Out of context stuff that leaves all news outlets open to a suit. That's exactly. I'm just saying it's interesting that they, and plus Smartmatic, the other company that is suing them, still has their lawsuit open now. If you go reading the propagandists, and I'll just start with this first one, Call to Activism, which I believe, I don't know this for a fact, and I may be just guessing, but it always sounds like, they always sound like the Krasenstein brothers. Oh, shoot, this thing's shifted. All right, we'll skip down. Hard lesson one. There could be catastrophic financial consequences for adopting and repeating the lies of the former president. That's Jim Garrity. So the left, this is a good example of my opinion on this. The left media are rejoicing at Fox's pay today, and Fox probably deserves it. But CNN, MSNBC, etc. should take note that cable news hosts are now in the spotlight. I expect to see more defamation suits coming out, but from both directions. I would not be shocked. I don't know if this is a great precedent. Washington Post, 787,500,000 payment for making false claims about election fraud is hard to wrap one's head around. Let us help. Oh, they have analysis. Oh my God, do I dare do the Washington Post analysis of this? Do I even have time for this crap? I probably don't, but I'm sure that their analysis is just absolutely just right down the middle. And I'm sure that they think that this is a dangerous precedent for all news organizations. I'm sure. Putting the massive Fox News settlement in perspective by Philip Bump. Oh no! I don't know if you're familiar with Philip Bump. Holy shit. He's interesting. We got the facts here. So let us help. Okay, he says, let's begin by presenting the sum in terms of time. If you begin handling someone $1 for every second, beginning the moment you opened up this article, handed over a slip of paper with George Washington on every... Okay. There, I don't care how long it takes to pay off this by doing $1 at a time. Shut the fuck up. And then they're going, this guy's, oh my God, is this guy really just going to go tell you how much the dollars are by giving you, oh my God. He really is. He's comparing it like it's about the volume of the Eiffel Tower in dollars. Oh my God. Is that what this article's about? That's putting it in perspective? Oh my God, you moron. Sorry, I'm not even reading that crap. Fox News doesn't seem to be reporting it. Rare potato human hybrid Brian Stelter once is out of a job. Oh, that's from... Oh no! This is so sad. I'm going to finish with this. This is so sad. Let me pop this over here. The potato is out of a job again. Oh. Rare potato human hybrid Brian Stelter is once again out of a job after his post as Vanity Fair special correspondent for the Fox News Dominion lawsuit is utterly wiped out by the settlement. Oh, so sad. So sad. What is he saying here? Hang on a second. Hey, Bumpcat123, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I don't know if you're here, but I'm glad you subscribed. I'm starting to get a bunch of new subscribers. By the way, I'm going to finish up here. Let's see what does this say?
Fair, who was supposed to be covering the Fox News trial, but now, are you out of a job now as the Vanity Fair special correspondent?
You know, we're going to tape a podcast tomorrow, but I've found Fox is somehow always in the news for something.
Yes, this is true.
Oh, well, that's because all you talk about, Brian. Brian doesn't talk about anything but Fox News. I'm sorry, he didn't have that on the screen. Anyway, guys, I got to go. It's the end of my show. Hey, do me a favor. Let me take a quick look here before don't go yet, because I gotta take a quick look. Gotta take a quick look. First of all, look here, right here. What's this? 26 people and 14 likes. Can we fix that like right now before we go anywhere? Also, there was a, let's see, I got some notifications here. Did that happen? Let me check the notifications just real quick. Thank you, Tyler F., Jimmy Das Hotep, and the Somnambule Nation for tweeting out the show. Yes, you are sponsoring the show by doing that. I appreciate you. And, after you hit the like button, share the stream on your way out. Really, just share the stream. Do it. It can't hurt, right? Just share the stream. And if you want to sponsor the show, P-Dog Night Live, 24 hours a day, that's the Streamlabs link. That's where I read all this stuff from. And also Super Chats and Rumble Rants, which there are obviously no Rumble Rants today because we're not on Rumble today, but the replay will be on Rumble. Also, let me remind you, at the end of every show, at the end, very end, as the credits are running, as the outro is playing, okay, I give you the link, a single link that'll take you to every single article I went through. Okay, so one page, boom, 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 boom. All of them will be on one page, one tab link. I put in the chat and I update the description. Third paragraph, if you need to come back and want to check out any of the articles, tweets, or anything, videos, whatever that I do. So please do that. And wait a minute, if you press like twice, you unliked. You can't do that. Damien Gershwin, how you doing? So anyway, so just remember that is every show. If there's something that I read and you're like, oh, where do you get that from? I'll send you the links. in one link. All of them will be there in one link. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go. Thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'll be back tomorrow or Monday through Friday, all that stuff. Like, share, subscribe, and sponsor the show. Sponsor the show sometime. And so I can keep the lights on. All right. Thanks. Got to go. My name is P Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.